Rose to the rescue. Oh, drat, Flora said, peering into the fireplace. We're out of wood. No wood, Merryweather asked, alarmed. But how will we stay warm overnight? Why, with no fire, we'll freeze. Briar Rose smiled at her aunt. She loved her dearly, but Merryweather certainly had a flair for the dramatic. I'll go get some more, Briar Rose offered. Then, putting on her cloak, she stepped out of the cottage. I'll be right back, she called. Briar Rose didn't have to go far to find wood. By the time she had taken a few steps into the forest, her arms were full of branches. But as she turned to go home, Briar Rose heard a noise. Hoo, hoo! Briar Rose spun around to see her friend the owl perched on a tree branch. Why, hello there, Briar Rose called back. How are you this evening? Hoo, hoo, the owl called again. He flapped his wings frantically and hopped up and down on the branch. Then, with one more hoot, he flew deeper into the forest. Briar Rose frowned. Her animal friends were usually quite calm. It was not like the owl to seem so upset. She hoped nothing was wrong. Setting down the pile of branches she had collected, she followed the owl deep into the woods. Ooh, I wonder where that owl is going. The owl landed on a large oak tree. Briar Rose knew that a family of rabbits lived inside. Her heart pounded. Is something wrong with the bunnies? She asked. Briar Rose knelt down and looked into the hollow tree trunk. The mother rabbit was there, anxiously fussing over her babies. 1, 2, Briar Rose counted. Where's the third bunny? There could be one more there. Now Briar Rose knew why the owl had seemed so upset. A baby bunny was missing. Don't worry, I'll find him, Briar Rose promised. And you'll help me, won't you, Owl? Hoo, hoo, the owl agreed. Oh, baby bunny's missing. Briar Rose stood up and looked at the forest trail. The sky was growing dark, but she could just make out tiny paw prints on the ground. Look, she said, pointing at the trail. He went that way. Let's go. Briar Rose followed the trail, with the owl flying close behind. But deeper she got into the woods, the more trees blocked the moonlight. Soon I won't be able to see a thing, she said. As she spoke, a cloud of fireflies flew up to her. They blinked on and off, lighting up the path. Briar Rose smiled, surprised. Oh, thank you, she said. That's much better. There's the rabbit tracks. And there's the fireflies. The paw prints led to a stream and then disappeared. Briar Rose said. The little guy must have hopped across the stream on those rocks. Briar Rose started to step on the nearest rock, but it wasn't a rock. It was a turtle shell. A sleepy turtle poked her head out of the water. Oh my, Briar Rose said, pulling her foot back. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to step on you. I was just trying to get across the stream. Your shell looked like a stone. Are there any more of you in the water? There's the turtles. At the commotion, 4 more sleepy turtles popped their heads up and looked around. I'm sorry to wake you, Briar Rose said, but I don't want to step on you by mistake. Briar Rose bent down and peered at the turtles' shells. Now that she knew what she was looking for, she could see the difference between the turtles and the rocks. Thank you, she said as she carefully stepped across the rocks. You can go back to sleep now. On the other side of the stream, Briar Rose spotted the pony's paw prints. All around her, the sounds of the forest filled the air. Crickets chirped. Tiny wood mice skirled through the pine needles. Bats flapped their wings as they swept through the trees. But Briar Rose barely noticed. She was too focused on finding the pony. Suddenly, a pair of yellow eyes appeared. Frightened, the fireflies fled. The owl let out a startled hoot, but Briar Rose stood tall. "Who's there?" she asked. Wonder what the yellow eyes belong to. A small red fox trotted out of the bushes. Briar Rose smiled. "Hello there," she said. Briar Rose pointed to the trail of footprints. It had now grown so dark that she could barely see them. "I'm looking for a lost bunny. Have you seen him?" The fox looked at Briar Rose, confused. Then she began to sniff the ground. A moment later, she turned and walked away. Briar Rose set off after the fox. There's the fox. Hoo-hoo! Suddenly, the owl let out a warning cry and flew in front of Briar Rose. She stopped and looked down, right at the edge of a cliff. The fox was making her way across the fallen tree to get to the other side, but Briar Rose had nearly stepped over the edge. "Thank you, Owl," Briar Rose said. "It's a good thing you can see so well at night." Then, following the fox's lead, she carefully walked across the fallen tree. I wonder where the fallen tree would take her. The fox led Briar Rose to the edge of the forest. Ahead, she could see a cottage with a big vegetable garden. "Thank you," Briar Rose called out to her new friend. But the fox had already disappeared into the woods. Stepping out of the forest, Briar Rose headed toward the cottage. The moon shone brightly overhead, and she could easily see the missing bunny sleeping happily in a patch of lettuce. Laughing softly, Briar Rose picked up the sleeping bunny and made her way back over to the fallen tree across the stream and into the hollow tree that was home to the family of rabbits. "Here you are," Briar Rose said, placing the bunny inside the hollow, safe and sound. The sleeping bunny snuggled up next to his brother and sister, wiggling slightly as his mother licked him all over. Briar Rose smiled at the rabbits. Then she yawned. "Oh my, I'm getting very sleepy. Me too. I need to get back to the cottage." Oh, the rabbits are reunited. Gathering her firewood, Briar Rose returned to the cottage, where the three anxious fairies were waiting for her. "Where were you?" Flora asked. "We were so worried about you," Fauna exclaimed. "We went back to look for you, but all we could find was an abandoned pile of twigs," Meriwether said. "We thought someone had kidnapped you." "I'm sorry," Briar Rose said. "It was an emergency. Besides, who would want to hurt me?" Briar Rose is back. No. Meriwether, she's just fine, Fauna said. Then, turning to Briar Rose, she added, "How about some cake and a nice hot cup of tea? And you can tell us everything that happened." So Briar Rose and her aunt settled in for the night, and the girl told them all about her adventure. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.